Hey, how you doing? It's Chuck from On Point Hostess. Hope everybody had a good day today. So tonight I want to make a video and talk about molds. All the different molds that I use. I'm going to talk about some of the companies that I get molds from. There are other companies, and if you want to share those, put those in the comments, but these are just some of the ones that I use. And I've got great support for my business from these companies. So let's go ahead and get into the molds. So tonight, the first mold company I'm going to cover is called Multi-Mold, and their website is multimoldguns.com. So great website, a lot of different types of molds. The two molds that I show here are from their Pro Series, and this is what I mainly use in my business. They have split molds, they have other different types of molds, but this is what I primarily use for my holster business. So either I use these with the taco press and make holsters right to these molds, or I can also use these molds for fitment after I use the vacuum molds. So if I don't have the actual real gun, I can use one of these to make sure that my vacuum holster is correct. All these molds come blocked out, which is nice because it just makes it a lot easier and quicker to get the mold ready to make a holster. These particular molds run $67.95 a piece, which is not too bad. And when you see the pictures of my shop, I've got hundreds of them from Multi-Molds. Tony over there is a great guy, and the support that they provided to me, because I routinely reach out to him, and they get a lot of the new guns. So they got to go out and buy the guns to make the molds, and they're pretty responsive, and they pretty much get the guns, the new ones, as soon as they come out. So, and then he'll send out messages on Facebook and or text messages to me and say, hey, I got these new molds coming in, get your orders in. So I think it's great. It's nice to be able to hurry up and get holsters out for all these new guns for the, for the community out there. And Tony does a really good job at keeping up with that. So you can also get magazine molds from Multi-Molds. This is one right here. These run $30. They only have so many and certain variations of mags, but it is one option that you can buy to use to make your mag carriers. They also make some of the lights. This is a light here. These lights run $58, which is good because some of these lights, as you may or may not know, cost hundreds of dollars, and it just makes it easier to have a mold, and that way there you can just continuously make the lights. So the molds all the molds fit on, and then you can adjust them. Or, I go out and I buy the actual real lights, and then I'll adjust them to fit on here, where they're supposed to be, and then I can make the holster that way too. So, I mean, it's the actual size or the actual gun. It's nice. So it makes it a lot easier on us as holster makers when you're building holsters. The next holster or mold company I want to talk about is Cook's Gun Molds. So Cook's molds run $60. They make a lot of versions, different light versions. They make, and they're pretty decent molds. I mean, I've got a lot of them. They make a lot of like different companies that ain't very popular, on other, because Multi-Molds makes a lot of the standard molds, Glock, Ruger, and things like that. But then if you're looking for something unique, sometimes you can find it at Cook's Molds, because a lot of the mold companies, they're not going to make a mold unless there's demand for it, right? So if it's just some one-off gun that somebody made, it's just going to be hard to find a mold for it. So this is a Shield 940 with an LTG 770 light on it. That's nice. It's a nice mold. And then this is just a Shield Plus. So on the Cook molds too, like these, there's another one here. This is a SAR. They all come blocked out, and then you can use the lights. The same thing. If that, obviously that light's too big, but you can use the lights on these just like you could on the Multi-Molds. So Cook's also offers some mag molds. Here's one here. This one's for the M&P Shield Plus. They have some, they don't have them all, but I mean, it's nice to be able to buy these because they're 25 bucks, so that's a lot cheaper than going out and buying an actual mag, because as you know, some of these mags can be 40, 50, 60 bucks each. And I like to make my mag carriers to the mags themselves because I want the detail and I want the lockdown, which the retention is going to come from here on the actual mags itself. So that's just the way I do it. So have I bought a lot of magazines? Yep. Will I buy more magazines? Yep. It's just something that I do because I want to be able to offer mag carriers for every magazine that's out there, just like I want to be able to offer a holster for every gun that's out there. So it's just the way I do it. The next mold company is a split mold company I want to talk about, and that's Pale Horse Concealment. So I've got some of these. I haven't got a lot, but I'm in the process of growing because I'm really pushing to go towards vacuum molding, and I'll show you some more of that later. And you've seen it in the community, and the reason why is that you get better definition. It's a lot quicker. It's a lot easier to make the holsters. And then, so this is for a Glock 19. This is the actual mold itself, and then this is the trim jig that I got for it. And then I put these Easy Lock screws in here. I went out on the Amazon and I got these screws, so that way there I can screw the Kydex down to it when I put it in the machine to cut the Kydex. It just makes it easier for me. So this mold right here, you'll see a lot of these holes. I drill those holes in there, and we'll cover that in another video later. And the reason why is it allows more air in there, and it sucks the Kydex down, and it allows for better detail. And you see they go all the way through. So this is an inside the waist. This mold itself is $110, and the trim jig is $90. I bought ambidextrous because I wanted to be able to make a right or left-handed holster, and then I wanted to be able to put the different clips on that I wanted, whether it's a foamy clip or whether it's an ulti clip or whether it's a paddle. So it's just the way I choose. So this is why the trim jig has both sides on it. So what it does is it allows me to make the mold of what I want and then cut it. So can I order it a right-handed mold and a right-handed jig and then a left-handed mold? Yeah, you can do that if you want to spend $210. Plus I can order all the different light variations on his site. So he's got a ton of split molds, and these things are great. I mean, I've had no problems with them. I really like working with them. It makes it a lot easier and faster. And for holster builders, especially like one-man shows like me, it's essential that we're always trying to figure out a more efficient way to do things. And split molds is the way to make things faster, quicker. They look better. But the drawback is it's a lot of money, and some of us, don't have the money to spend $210 on a mold. But I mean, if at some point some people will say, well, I mean, you'll get it back in a couple of holsters. Yeah, that's correct. So it's just something to think about. So also at Pale Horse Concealment, they sell outside the waist molds also. So this is an outside the waist. It's a two-piece mold. So that way there you can mold the holster here. And then these are $165 because it's two pieces. And then I also have the trim jig. This is for the Glock 19 also, and here's the trim jig that I have for that. So many different types of gun manufacturers, many different types of molds, and then a ton of variations, mainly for lights and things like that. So I mean, go check them out at palehorseconcealment.com. The last thing I want to cover for tonight is some of us make other various things, and one of the things that I like to make is handcuff cases. So I'm law enforcement and I support law enforcement, and a lot of us have to carry handcuff cases. So I like to make these. This is what a case looks like. One of the versions, right? So these molds are from OxCreekTactical.com. So he sells this is the actual mold itself, and then this is the trim jig. But he sells all the different variations, the different types of handcuffs, which is nice, right? Because there's not one set, and it allows you to make these handcuff cases. Very nice. So he also sells other things like mag carriers. You can buy split molds for mag carriers, and then he has different types of flashlight carriers. So if you have a certain type of flashlight, he may have the carriers over there, so you can go and check them out there. So I hope that helped a little bit. I hope that solved some of your questions, but I know it's going to cause more questions. So again, just reach out to me in the comments and I'll answer your questions. And if I need to make another video, I'll make another video. I'm always open to communication, and I always want to be able to help. This is the whole purpose of making these videos, to be able to help other new people trying to make holsters and things like that. So again, the molds that I showed you is multi-molds. Then there was Cook molds. Then I showed you Pale Horse Concealment, the vacuum molds. Some of the handcuff carriers from Ox Creek Tactical. I hope this helped in your journey to, be a better holster builder. And again, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'd ask you to subscribe to my site and share this video, because there's going to be more information coming in future videos, at least once a week, if not more. Thanks. Have a great night and be safe out there.